Are y'all ready to get this started?
Let's go.
3, 2, 1.
Let's get it. Here we go.
Sit your ass down and get ready for the next episode of the Urban Green Room. The Urban Green Room. With your host, my girl A.A. and that dude D. Lewis.
Hey everyone, it's your girl A.A.
What's up, y'all? It's your man D. Lewis.
And welcome to another episode of the Urban Green Room podcast. Tonight, as you can see, it's just me and D. And we are recording this on October 7th, which is a very important day in the Lewis household. It happens to be D's brother's birthday. And unfortunately, many years ago, Melvin Lewis was murdered. So on October 7th, we choose to celebrate his life and to talk about him and make him as real as we possibly can so that our boys, who are now men, know who their uncle is. And we thought this would be a fitting platform to discuss sort of what it's like to lose a loved one, and especially when it's your sibling. So D and I are going to have a nice little candid conversation with you all. We hope that you stick around and join us for it. And hopefully it'll help you deal with the loss of a loved one in your life. So, D, how are you doing today?
It's rough. I mean, it's always a pretty rough day. It don't get much easier, I guess. I mean, you learn to accept it more, I think, but fire is easy. I don't think it gets easier. But you do kind of just over time learn to, I guess, accept it, if that's a good term to use. But so that part of it's gotten better. I mean, that it just kind of is what it is at this point. It's been, like you say, a really long time. So, and then you got other responsibilities in life too. So, it's always been a hard time juggling the two, because my natural build is to just go off and do my own thing and kind of just get lost in my thoughts. But with a family, you can't always do that. And I kind of have over the years, which is why this is really different right now. This is really different for me, because I typically on today would kind of just get lost in myself and my own thoughts and just, work my way through the day kind of by myself. So, this is a little different take on it. So I'm doing a lot of things, I guess, a little bit differently at this point in my life. So we'll see how I feel about this and how it goes.
Which is fair. So tell the world, because for those of you who don't know us, Dee obviously had a brother. How close in age were you?
My brother's a year and 8 days older than I am. So his birthday is today. Mine's is next week.
And so growing up with Mel, or Sleepy, as we refer to him, which was his nickname, growing up with Mel, tell us about him.
I don't, it's hard, I guess, for me to kind of describe him. He was very intelligent. he was definitely the smart one of the two. I was kind of the hothead,
Oh, for sure.
short fruit fuse, and Sleep was the he was the smart one. He was very intelligent, um, very loving and trusting, and he was a cool dude. He was just an all around cool ass nigga. Um, yeah, yeah. I was more the one that was always don't take risk. I was the risk taker. He was back then. I was anyway. He was the more kind of we probably shouldn't. I talk him into it though most of the time.
So, like, we're years since his passing. So, if Sleepy was here right now, what do you think his life would be like?
um, that's a good question. I think he would be very successful in whatever it is he wanted to do. I don't know what that really would have been. Um, if I had to, if I had to take a guess, he would certainly probably be in money management somewhere, or definitely entrepreneur of some sort for sure. He always had pretty good business sense. Actually, he was very good with the calculations and funds. So yeah, I could see him certainly being an entrepreneur or somewhere in the financial sector.
So, when I think of your brother, I always imagined him living somewhere close to us. Like, I can't imagine you two not being like states away. Somehow that never crossed my mind. So when we moved to Michigan, I always felt like he moved with us. Like, if I had a neighbor, it was gonna be it was gonna be male. Like, he literally lives across the street from us or next door to us. And in my mind, that's how I feel. Um, I felt like he would have totally adored our sons.
Oh yeah.
Um, and unfortunately, our oldest was too young to really remember him, and our youngest was it happened years after he had passed away. But I know that he would have loved them. Like, he would have thoroughly enjoyed being around those two.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was the silly one too. So he would have been really good with kids. He was good with kids back then. I mean, he just, you know, I guess how we say Keon is,
Hmm.
he's just always been good with kids. That was Mel. I was not the Nah, I was not the
No,
good.
not the,
Nah,
because
because
he
I
was
never
never
had the
gonna
patience.
sit.
He took after my father as far as like demeanor, and who he was, kind of his personality and shit like that.
Hmm.
It was more like my dad. Like my dad had a nickname, the professor. Thought he knew every motherfucking thing. That was Sleep. My father had more patience than my mom. My mom just she's 0 to 100 right now in your ass. Let's get it. Like, no, not necessarily physically all the time because she was 2 apples high. So, but she'd be quick to tell you she gonna punch your teeth down your throat, to get you to straighten up or shut the hell up or something. That was more me. I was more the short fuse. Just I ain't got time to be dealing with shit And yeah, he would have enjoyed them a lot. He would have loved them. He would have been there at all the football and basketball games and shit like that. If he would, if we was close enough. I don't
Uh,
know if we would have been that close to each other.
listen, I don't see it because growing up, I only know you and your brother together. Like it was rare that I saw you two apart. Like if I saw one, I saw the other. And if I saw one, the other was close behind. And to me, that's how it's always been. Like if you knew the Lewis boys, you knew that they were a package deal. Um, so the other night, when I made those biscuits, right? I literally was like, and saying to myself, I should get a bowl of syrup for D. And then I was like, oh, and Mel, because so they were always at our house, right? And when they would come over, like if they were spending the night, they loved my drop biscuits. So I would make drop biscuits and everybody get like 5 or 6 drop biscuits in a bowl of syrup, maple syrup, and they would just sit there and eat biscuits and syrup. And when I made those biscuits the other night, like I literally was like, I should get a bowl of syrup for D. And then I was like, and I was like, oh, and Mel, because that was our thing. And
the motherfucking biscuits was good,
and I was like, oh, I see that's how real he is still to me. Like I'm thinking biscuits for D and Mel, and Mel hasn't been around for so long. So it's little memories like that that I get to hold on to, like those special moments. And then I was wondering, is there anything that, when you think of Mel, something happens, is there like something that really like resonates with you and you tune in and be like, Mel?
Yeah, yeah, all the time. I still think about them every day. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just little shit throughout the day. I'll be watching something. I'll read a news article. Just all throughout the day, there's all kind of shit that happens that will trigger a thought of him. Yeah, all the time. It could be songs through music, a television show, of course, this time of year. Um, and other times of the year are certainly times that are more prominent, where it's probably a little bit more through the day.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just things happen all throughout the day, most days that'll trigger that thought. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, like yeah.
Hey everyone, I guess you can see that Walt is joining us. Um, so Walt, we were just talking about Mel's birthday today, being today, and how close him and Dee were as brothers, and memories that kind of trigger like thoughts of him throughout the day, not just today, but any day. So question for you, because okay, guys, if you didn't see D and Mel together, you saw Walt, D and Mel together, and then Walt's brother Terrell. So you got a package deal a lot of the time between these brothers, which just is a testimony to how close they really are. So when I say they're like brothers, they really are brothers. So
Hell
is
yeah.
there anything that you like to remember about Mel?
Scarface. Not the movie, but
Yeah.
Brad, Mr. Jordan. Every time I hear anything from Ghetto Boys that instantly take me back to Sleepy, because that dude was just turned out by the Ghetto Boys. I believe they single-handedly ruined that kid's life, but it might have been some N double too, but maybe we'll say that for a hip hop show. But yeah, every time I hear Brad, I think of Sleepy, no doubt.
Yeah, facts. He turned me on to them, both of them groups actually.
N double two.
NWA and Ghetto Boys. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
was him. That was
yeah.
Mel that got me into them. Ice T. Like he rocked with the West Coast niggas, man. He was fucking with them early, like before anybody else was. Like or I think so anyway, at least for me for sure. Like he turned me on to them. He turned me on to them dudes. Like, yeah. I would have never heard Easy's 6-4 if it wasn't for Sleep. I wouldn't have known them till the LP dropped and they blew
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
Yeah, but for some reason, I don't know where he was getting this shit from either. Like, he just come in the house and like, yo, check this out.
I
We like,
mean,
oh shit,
he
who is
he
this?
was, yeah, he was always plugged into that street life shit. Like, just anything gangster that was Sleep, which was crazy
Yeah,
because he really wasn't no gangster.
right.
He was about his money, but he was turned on about that gangster shit. That ain't make no sense to me. But he loved that
Yeah, we
gangster
was
shit,
just
no
talking
doubt.
like he was the smart one. He was more the intelligent one between the two of us. Um, Not that I was dumb. He was just, a nigga he was smart. At least I
Yeah,
feel that way. And he was about his money. You
always
know,
about that.
I was
Always about
more
that.
the hothead, we gonna settle this way. I, that was more of my style.
It's always the little
Um,
brother that want to fight all the damn time. You motherfuckers need to chill the fuck out. The
Weren't you a little
uh
brother too?
nah,
No, I'm older than Dio.
he
I'm
older
the
than
oldest of all
Dio.
four
Really?
of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the oldest.
Shut
See, but
up.
Yeah.
how you know
All
me for
these
30
years, I thought
years
he
and
was
didn't know that?
older than you.
That's because
No,
he's bigger than me. But yeah, no, I'm older.
He was a
So
big
I
little
it's
did
it's
brother.
not
me,
know.
it's me, and then behind me is Dio. Then Dio and Sleepy was like, I don't know, 6 weeks apart. And then it's your husband, the baby, out of the four of us. So between me and D is what, 2 years and four
Too.
days.
Yeah.
So
All these October babies
I
in the
know.
house.
Um,
You blessed, girl. You blessed. Cut that shit out. You already know. It's Libra season.
so, if so, question,
Yeah.
because I was telling D, I made biscuits the other day,
Mm-hmm.
and like I was like, oh, like I should get the bowl of syrup for D to go with the biscuits. Look at that smile. You remember the biscuits, right?
Yeah, I remember the biscuits. Or the syrup. I mean, the syrup for sure.
You need the syrup with the biscuits.
For sure.
And I instantly, like, my heart got very, like, heavy and warm because I literally was like, I need to fix Sleepy some too. And then that's that part where I'm just like, he's not here. Like, I love those moments because he still feels so real to me. So do you have moments, throughout the day, a week? Is there anything other than the Ghetto Boys that triggers those memories? Or is there a memory that you can share about Sleepy that maybe I don't know, D might know, but I may not know? Like,
When well, there's nothing that actually triggers it. I mean, because he's he's a part of my development. You know, he's a part of, even though it's been what 26 years. It's you know, he's family. It's never going. You're never going. I mean, you don't need much to remember sleep, but one one memory I laugh about like often is, and I wasn't even there for this. I used to hear stories about this from the, you know, because he used to go to Riverside High, and we grew up in that school district or whatever. But I was going to McKinley. But most of my friends went to Riverside, so they would tell me stories about Mel. This is when he, you know, started bubbling with the cocaine business, and he'd be walking through the school hallways, throwing dollar bills on the floor, counting his fucking money. The dude was crazy, just mad. You remember that shit, Mello?
Mm-hmm. I used to get mad
Uh,
as hell. Hey, nigga, shit,
uh,
if you don't want it, give it to me. Like, stop advertising, motherfucker. God damn.
he would do crazy shit like that, just like throw dollar bills on the fucking.
You know what
That
he
dude
got
was
that
wild,
from, though?
man.
You know what he
No,
got that
what?
from?
Where? Some movie?
Think, nope. Video. My Posse on Broadway.
Shut up.
Remember? That's all I could think that he would get that from. Like, yeah. Yeah. When his boy
That was a shitty fucking video.
dropped the 20. That part was fucking that part was live though. I ain't gonna lie. I wanted to be the
Posse
nigga
on
dropping
Broadway,
20s on the
huh?
floor and somebody picking it up and kissing it.
Hmm.
I don't know. No, that's just me. Years later, that's the first thing that just came to my mind, actually, thinking
Yeah,
about that episode. So I don't know.
yeah.
But shit like that,
Teenage
that's what I
lady
mean.
killer.
Like
Mm-hmm.
little moments and
Yeah,
shit like that, I'll think about them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Whole
yeah, I
lot
do
of
remember
whole
that.
lot of
Because
dominoes.
I used to get mad because I used to tell him, look, man, you got to slow down with that shit. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all
Because
So
told
I
them.
was
We
like,
all
nigga, if
told
I
them.
ain't know you, that money would be mine. Like, what the fuck you doing? Like, you know where you at.
Yeah.
Riverside wasn't full of hoes either.
Not a one, actually.
so there's a memory outside of cooking for you guys that I have.
What's that?
Asleep. I don't even think I shared this with anybody before. There was a time, literally, I think it was a week before he passed. We were on the bus. So I had got into an argument with somebody I was dating and didn't want to get in the car. So I'm at the Utica train station. I get on the bus. And he was with some girl, and instead of going to sit with her, he sat with me because he had saw whatever had happened between me and the guy, and he was making sure I was okay because he wasn't sure if he should go approach the dude and do whatever the male thought he should do to defend my honor. But he sat with me on the bus and we talked the whole ride. And like, I was like, shouldn't you go get with your girl? And he was like, nobody's more important than my poo. And I was like, I love you, dude. Like, I love you. And we hugged when I got off. And I could hear the girl in the back of the bus having a fit because she didn't know who I was, and he didn't feel like he should explain it to her either.
Yeah, that
And
sounds like
I
sleepy for
kept
sure.
saying, I kept trying to look back, and I was like we family, but he was like, you ain't got to explain nothing to her. I'm with you right now. Like, I needed to make sure you were okay. And then I got off. We said, I love you. And he was like, I'm coming by soon. And I was like, I'm going to hold you to that. And before I got a chance to see him again, he was taken away from us. And
Yeah.
I hadn't seen him in months. Like, so this is the first time I'm seeing him like in months. And that was it. And I felt like we were kids again. Like you guys were spending the night over our house and everybody was like, it just felt so familiar. And I was so happy to see him because I hadn't seen him in so long. And just the thought that he was going to defend my honor, I was like, was classic Mel to me. And that was that.
Yeah, you told me that story.
Okay.
And I told because I always thought it was like I'm like, what the fuck was he doing on the bus?
Yes.
And
Yeah.
but that was if I remember correctly, there was a stretch in time where he couldn't keep his sound system in his vehicle. So he would like every other week be getting new beats put in his joint because that was around the time cats was jacking beats mad heavily around the city. So then they came out with these new style locks, and he was getting beats and another lock, that new lock, whatever that it was, a new technology. He was getting it put on in the trunk.
Because I did ask him where was his car.
Yeah.
And I don't recall what he said.
But that could be the only thing I was thinking about.
How old was he when he bought Frank Whip? Was he like 16, 17?
Like 16, 16.
Little motherfucker. Man, I miss that kid, yo. I miss that dude.
Yeah.
I miss that dude. He was a fucking clown,
good days, man. Them was good days.
He was a funny motherfucker, man. Could not play spades. Couldn't. What was this thing with spades, man? How come that boy couldn't play no spades?
He ain't give a fuck.
That makes sense.
He just didn't. Like he didn't. He wasn't.
Shitty.
He really wasn't into.
Mel really
never got into them, like card games like that. Like except Tunk, because we used to play that all the time with one of my uncles and shit for money. Like so, Tunk he would get into, but if it wasn't that, and if it wasn't for money, he didn't care.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. Truthfully, he didn't give a fuck about nothing but money. Yeah.
So the camping, because I still can't believe y'all Negroes went camping, but
I don't remember Sleepy being there.
That was after. That was after.
Oh, that was after. Okay.
Yeah,
that's what I'm about to say. I don't remember Sleep going camping. Sleepy was never. I think we started
doing that a year
after,
where everybody else went. Now there were times I think me, my mom, and Pops and Sleep went. But no, we didn't either.
No.
No.
See, I don't know why I thought that you all went camping together.
No, that was some other idiots.
Okay.
Along with this idiot.
Okay.
We ain't gonna talk about camping right now.
That was fun.
I can't watch the movie Boomerang, man. Every time I watch it, we watched that joint. We watched that joint a couple months ago.
Oh, because
Lady Arloise.
Lady Arloise.
Melvin, darling. Yo, that was hilarious, man.
I can't stand you niggas, man.
That shit was funny.
That was fun though. So I had a memory today.
About the stinky. Oh, go ahead.
The memory I had today, I've been thinking about today. I don't know why it popped in my head, but it did. I was in 7th grade. He was in 8th. And that was during the time before he had his real big growth spurt, or maybe it was right after. And we were sitting down eating. We was eating dinner, man, and he kept fucking with me. And he would have, you know how Mel was. Like he just kept fucking with me, and I was not in the mood. We was arguing, and I said, look, man, just leave me alone. He was like, so he grabbed his fork, and he would put it real close to my eye. Just keep fucking with me. I was like, man, if you keep putting that fork up there, I'm gonna punch you right in your fucking eye. My mom started yelling at us. I said, yo, talk to him, man. If he put it in my face again, I'm gonna punch this nigga right in his eye. You ain't gonna blah, blah, blah. So Mel said, ha. Put the fork right there, man. I jumped up so quick, punched this nigga dead in his fucking eye. Now we both in trouble. And she was like, see, that's why I can't stand you little niggas. Now he told you to leave him alone. You going to school too. Nigga, I was all puffed up and shit, man. So
What you hit the boy what you hit him above the neck for, man?
Because I told him I was gonna hit him in his fucking eye if he
See
put
what I'm
that
saying?
fork in my eye again.
Little brother.
What you want? What
It's
you
that
want?
little brother shit. You know what I mean?
That ain't got nothing to do with little brother shit, man. That
Yes, it do,
look,
man.
but it was funny, and that's something we used to always laugh about. Of course, sometime later, he did
Yeah,
get me back
sometime
for that
later.
shit though.
I'm sure
Yeah.
he did.
Yeah, because he was mad as fuck. Because we had to go to school. Everybody was laughing like, "What happened to your eye?" I was like, "I hit that motherfucker."
Yeah. Ain't nothing worse than
You
losing
know
to
I
your little
was.
brother.
Yeah, he
Nothing
took
worse
the L
than
to his little brother. He fucked my ass up on that one. Anywho, I don't know why I was thinking about that today. I haven't thought about that one in a lot of years, but for some reason today that was the one. But yeah, that was my nigga though, man. He was stupid. He was crazy. We
He
used to
wasn't
fight.
stupid, man.
We used
That
to
dude
fight
was
all the
just
time. It's stupid, man. The fuck with me,
he's
you
just like
is.
yeah, he would fuck with you. He would fuck with you, man. He fuck with all
But
of
that's
us
what
though. That
brothers
was
do.
Oh yeah.
yeah,
No, we
yeah.
all fucked with each other though, man. We did that shit all day long.
Yeah, like the
Like,
all
time
day
y'all
long.
fought.
We did not fight.
they
That was
No,
jumped
Daryl.
first off.
That was Daryl fighting
These niggas
by
jumped me.
himself.
But that's not even, we ain't even got to go into
No.
that right now.
So,
I think you should though, just so the world can know what kind of a slut you is for that
It's
bullshit.
not going into that.
um,
Watch what the fuck you do, nigga. Watch who you fucking with. Niggas got niggas. Anywho,
See this?
what's up, man?
no, anything else about Mel that you guys want to share?
Yes,
I'll go first and
go ahead.
let Melodious, end it, or if it's gonna end, I don't know. But Sleepy Mel was one of the kindest dudes I ever met. Like he give you anything. If he had it, then you had it. You know what I mean? If he had $2, then and you needed $1, Mel would give you $2. That's the type of dude he was, and always. I've never seen him mad. Just always enjoyed life. What he got robbed of it, prematurely for sure. But the time he was on this earth, I never seen the dude mad, and I always fucked with him, with both of them, and yeah, ain't nothing but love. Ain't nothing but love. That's all I got on, man. Kindest dude I ever met in my life.
I'm gonna echo that. I thought he was the sweetest soul.
What, Nito?
He just was. Every time he came into the house when we were growing up, he always had a smile on his face, always got a hug. Like, and you know what? It's funny because I see that in the boys. Like, and there's times where I look at a mirror and be like, "Do you got a sleepy eye like your uncle?" Like, I have moments where I'm just like, "You look a little like Mel," or just that kindness that comes from them. I'm just like, I feel that from him. To me, he was just a gift and a joy to be around, and I miss him.
Damn right.
Anything you want to add?
You all right, Mello?
Nah, he was a sweetheart, man. He was a sweetheart. Love that motherfucker, man. So no, everything y'all said was pretty true. Like I mean, like we was talking earlier on the pod. I mean, he was like I say, he was just so kind hearted, man. And no, I wish he wasn't, but then he wouldn't be him, and he wouldn't have been so loved, man. Like when I think of him, the first thing that really comes in my mind is one of the coolest and realest niggas that there ever was that I've ever come in contact with. And that was just him. He ain't, he was never one of them niggas that wanted to do something because he thought it was cool or because everybody else did it. You know what I mean? He was, when I really think of it, him and shit, Rail, it's got to be two of the realest to ever do it, ever. Like, cause they just was who they was, and unapologetically take that shit or leave it. That's how they were, but they were so fucking lovable. Like, how could you not? And I think the world kind of got robbed of that. You know what I mean? I think the world lost some light for sure. Not only with Sleep, but with Real Do too, and a bunch of other niggas we could name off. Like there are some other niggas we could name off, but I mean between the four brothers here, I mean facts. Those they they come they hard to come by, niggas like that. And I don't think people really appreciate shit like that until we get older and get a little bit more life experience in us to where we actually appreciate realness. And I ain't talking real on the level, oh, you keeping it real, nigga, blah, blah, all that bullshit that niggas be talking about. That's not what real is. Real is having the fucking courage and ability to just be yourself, whatever that is. In whatever given circumstances you find yourself, you do what the fuck you want to do when you want to do it and stand up. Now we all did wrong, back then. We was all doing what we was doing. But niggas understood that if the shit hit the fan, we need to stand up. Them niggas stood up. Them
early.
niggas stood the fuck up real early. But that's what I think of when I think of my brother, man. Just one of the sweetest, kindest motherfuckers, and definitely one of the realest motherfuckers ever. Facts. When I think of him and real, no doubt in my mind, the first thing that come to my mind is I love them motherfuckers to death. And the love we have for each other and shit, man. I wish there was more real niggas like that in my fucking life. Facts. I
Never
missed
get that
them.
shit again. We'll
I
never get
missed
nothing
them.
like that again.
No.
Never.
I miss them,
Never.
man. So now, I mean, the world missed out, but so do we. I mean, some of my light definitely dimmed, a lot of it. And for a lot of years, and trying to get some of that back is tough because niggas
You've
ain't
been
built
able
the
to do
same.
it. You've been able to do it.
I'm getting better. It's getting better. Now, I have other things though to cling to. I've got some things that I've been clinging to with my life. You know what I'm saying? To
Hell
try
yeah.
to fill that void. You know, I mean, I got kids. I got this lovely lady right here that has been my focus. You know what I mean? For the last
Yeah.
20 some odd years, and it's helped. But it like I was telling her today, like motherfuckers say it gets easier. I don't think so. I think you just learn to deal with it. You accept it a little easier, I guess. Maybe I'm not finding the right words, but
That makes sense.
I mean, it's
That makes
it's
sense.
always tough though. It's always tough. Like today is always a tough day. The 11th is always a tough day. The 15th is a tough day. The 31st is a tough day. All those days, this whole fucking month is a really hard month to get through. And that's just the way it is. And you know what all them dates mean. You know? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All tough days, man.
Ain't
What
nothing wrong with the
wanted-
11th, though. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no. What I was gonna say was so that you guys can talk off camera. But I wanted to end this with just saying happy birthday, Mel. Like
Facts.
we truly miss
Happy
you.
born day, my nigga.
And love you and wish you were here, but we know that you're in our hearts forever.
Shit, that nigga been watching over me since day one.
I was
And
just
shaking
waiting
his
for you
head.
to finish that sentence. That dude is
Ain't
he's
never
he's,
stopped.
he's around.
This nigga is
Shaking
here.
He's around.
Trust me.
He's
Shaking
around.
his
He been
head.
there. Yeah, he done did a lot of shaking of his head. He done did a lot of that. He's done a lot of that. He's done a lot of protecting.
Yes.
He's done a lot of protecting too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Mel.
That's facts. Happy birthday, my G. My nigga.
So
Rest in
with
power,
that,
dog.
No doubt.
with that, it's the family. And this has been the Urban Green Room Podcast. Thanks for joining us this episode. And we'll talk to you later. We out.
Thank you for tuning into the Urban Green Room Podcast. Let's keep the conversation going. Hit us up at urbangreenroom.net or on our Facebook or IG page.
I always follow them.
Tell us what you think about today's conversation. If there's a topic you want to discuss, let us know. And by all means, tell a friend. The Urban Green Room Podcast, giving you something to talk about. Until next time, we out.